Welcome back to our channel for another deep dive into the scandalous and ever-evolving world of the bold and the beautiful. Today is a brilliant Wednesday, the perfect time to unpack the explosive secrets, fierce rivalries, and undeniable passions dominating Los Angeles. Let us jump straight into the heart of the drama unfolding on our screens. The crashing waves outside the Spencer Beach house provide a stark, turbulent contrast to the heated warfare exploding within its walls. Katie Logan Spencer has just walked into a mother's worst nightmare, discovering her son, Spencer, in the immediate, intimate aftermath of a passionate night with Melissa Dillon. The air in the room is thick with tension, heavy with the unspoken realities of romance that Katie absolutely refuses to accept. From the moment Katie laid eyes on Dillon, a deep-seated suspicion took root in her mind, and finding the young woman intimately entangled with her son has only poured gasoline on that blazing fire. Katie does not just see a young woman falling in love. She sees a calculated, opportunistic predator sinking her claws into the Spencer fortune and legacy. Unleashing a torrent of maternal fury that has been brewing for weeks, Katie goes on a relentless offensive, hurling sharp, calculated insults designed to cut straight to the bone of Melissa Dillon's character. She completely disregards Will's attempts to mediate, labeling him as naive and blinded by a broken heart following his painful split from Electra Forrester. Katie's voice echoes through the beach house as she demands to know Dillon's true intentions, aggressively policing her son's love life with an iron fist. She paints Dillon as a desperate gold digger, a social climber who targeted a vulnerable Spencer ere the moment he was left emotionally bleeding. For Katie, this is not about Will finding comfort. It is about protecting the vast Spencer empire from an outsider she firmly believes is hiding dark, ulterior motives. However, Melissa Dillon is not the type of woman to cower in the corner and accept a verbal beating from anyone, no matter how powerful their last name might be. Standing her ground with a fierce, unapologetic glint in her eye, Dillon rushes to her own defense. She looks Katie dead in the eye and vehemently insists that her feelings for Will are genuine, born out of true love and mutual respect, not a desire for money, status, or power. Dillon refuses to let Katie diminish the profound connection she shares with Will, arguing that she was there to pick up the pieces when Electra carelessly shattered his heart. The young woman's defiance is a bold move, challenging the formidable Logan sister in a way very few people dare to attempt in Los Angeles. The confrontation reaches a boiling point when the dark, traumatic shadows of the past are dragged into the harsh light of day. Katie, desperate to validate her immense distrust and paint Dillon as a villain, inevitably draws a chilling comparison between Dillon and the late, malevolent Luna Nozawa. Luna's history of evil acts, deceit, and ultimate destruction left a permanent scar on everyone involved in the Spencer and Forrester families. Katie uses that horrific legacy as a weapon, suggesting Dillon is cut from the exact same treacherous cloth and is simply waiting for the right moment to destroy Will's life. Yet, despite Katie's relentless attempts to poison the well, Will firmly plants his feet beside Dillon. He calls his mother out for being ridiculously overprotective and blatantly offensive, choosing to back Dillon up and validate their budding relationship against his own mother's explicit wishes. The psychological tragedy of this beach house showdown lies in Katie's unyielding, impenetrable mindset. It becomes abundantly clear to everyone in the room that no matter what Melissa Dillon says or does, Katie has already written her narrative and sealed her verdict. Dillon could single-handedly cure a terrible disease or save the world from imminent destruction, and Katie would still view her as a wicked, manipulative villain unworthy of breathing the same air as a Spencer. This inherent bias highlights a ridiculous, almost irrational side of Katie's character, driven by a fierce need to control her son's destiny and protect him from perceived threats. Her refusal to see Dillon as a human being with genuine emotions showcases a massive blind spot that threatens to permanently alienate the very son she is trying so desperately to protect. For Dillon, The realization that she is fighting an unwinnable war against Katie is a bitter, exhausting pill to swallow. While it is undeniable that there is something incredibly mysterious and perhaps slightly calculated about Dylan's rapid integration into the Spencer world, Katie's vicious behavior borders on the absurd. Dylan finds herself trapped in a toxic crossfire, forced to choose between walking away from the man she loves or enduring a lifetime of agonizing complaints, insults, and sabotage from her potential mother-in-law. Sometimes, in the brutal landscape of high society, you simply cannot win, and in those impossible situations, walking away is the only viable option. I know Dylan will be heartbroken if it comes to that, but preserving her sanity might be better than suffering through Katie's relentless whining for the next decade. Knowing she cannot fight this monumental battle alone, Dylan makes a strategic and highly emotional decision to turn the tide of this domestic war. She realizes that to combat a force of nature like Katie Logan Spencer, she needs reinforcements of equal magnitude and ferocity. Reaching for her phone, Dylan makes a desperate call to her mother, Darcy Dylan, begging her to come to Los Angeles immediately. This move signals a massive escalation in the conflict, setting the stage for an epic, explosive mother-versus-mother showdown. Darcy's impending arrival promises to shake the very foundations of the Spencer family, as she will undoubtedly arrive with her claws out, ready to fiercely defend her daughter against Katie's relentless character assassination. While the beach house practically vibrates with generational warfare, a completely different kind of psychological chess game is unfolding across town in the aftermath of a broken engagement. Sheila Carter, the infamous and perpetually resilient survivor, is actively adjusting to her new, quiet normal. Having been cut off completely by her son, John Finn Finnegan, following the catastrophic events in Monaco, Sheila has been forced to retreat and recalibrate her entire life. Her marriage to Deacon Sharp seemingly ended when he chose to pursue a life with Taylor Hayes, leaving Sheila to navigate the lonely, suffocating spaces of an empty apartment. But a woman like Sheila Carter never truly stays in the shadows for long. She merely waits for the perfect moment to strike and reclaim what she believes is rightfully hers. That golden moment presents itself when Sheila decides to pay a highly anticipated visit to Deacon Sharp at his bustling restaurant, Illinois Giardino. The atmosphere between the former spouses is thick with unresolved history, lingering tension, and unspoken desires. Sheila, always observant and exceptionally skilled at reading the micro-expressions of the people around her, immediately senses that Deacon is carrying a heavy, humiliating burden. When Deacon reluctantly admits the crushing truth that Taylor Hayes flat-out rejected his heartfelt marriage proposal, a wicked, triumphant gleam dances in Sheila's eyes. The news is like beautiful music to her ears, a glorious validation of her unwavering belief that Deacon and Taylor's romance was fundamentally flawed and doomed from the very beginning. Unable to resist the glorious opportunity to twist the knife, Sheila begins to gloat, her voice dripping with calculated sweetness and sharp, undeniable venom. She expertly points out the glaring hypocrisy of Taylor's rejection, ensuring that Deacon feels the full weight of the insult. Sheila reminds Deacon that Taylor had absolutely no problem walking down the aisle to marry Ridge Forster on multiple occasions, eagerly tying herself to a man who constantly broke her heart and divided his loyalties. By highlighting Taylor's extensive romantic history with Ridge, Sheila meticulously plants seeds of toxic doubt in Deacon's mind. She subtly suggests that Taylor's refusal to marry him is undeniable proof that she does not view him as an equal, a true forever partner, or a man worthy of the same commitment she so easily handed to the Forster patriarch. Deacon, ever the devoted and stubbornly optimistic romantic, desperately tries to defend his fragile relationship against Sheila's psychological onslaught. He offers a completely different take on the situation, attempting to save face and protect his severely bruised ego from Sheila's mockery. Deacon argues that being married to a man like Ridge Forster would turn anybody off to the institution of marriage entirely, framing Taylor's rejection as a trauma response to her past rather than a personal slight against him. He insists that a legally binding piece of paper does not define the depth of their love, arguing that simply being with Taylor, sharing their lives and their hearts, is more than enough for him. Deacon stands his ground, clinging desperately to the hope that his unwavering love can conquer Taylor's deep-seated fears of commitment. But Sheila Carter sees right through Deacon's brave, defensive facade. She knows that Deacon is a man who craves ultimate validation, stability, and the profound commitment that only marriage can provide. While Deacon may try to convince himself and everyone else that this rejection is not a massive deal-breaker, Sheila knows it proves he will never have the exact, picture-perfect next chapter he was vividly imagining with Taylor. As the conversation unfolds, the gears in Sheila's brilliant, twisted mind begin to turn at lightning speed. She realizes she has just been handed the perfect angle to work. This rejection could be the very catalyst that shatters Deacon and Taylor's bond, leading to a golden opportunity for Sheila to swoop in, offer the unconditional devotion Taylor refuses to give, and win Deacon back for herself. For now, Sheila recognizes the supreme importance of playing the long game. She understands that Deacon is still fiercely protective of Taylor and will blindly defend his love for her, so she must tread very carefully to avoid pushing him further away. Sheila will have to get used to a life without him in the immediate meantime, biding her time and watching from the sidelines as the inevitable cracks in his relationship slowly widen into unbridgeable chasms. However, this revelation ensures that Sheila will absolutely not give up on the hope of reuniting with a man she still considers her true husband. The knowledge that Taylor refuses to marry Deacon is a powerful, destructive weapon in Sheila's arsenal, and she will wait patiently in the shadows for the exact right moment to deploy it and reclaim her throne at his side. Meanwhile, within the sleek, high-stakes corridors of Forrester Creations, a different brand of fierce ambition is taking center stage and threatening to disrupt the corporate hierarchy. R.J. Forrester is on a relentless, highly publicized mission to carve out a definitive legacy for himself in the cutthroat, unforgiving fashion world. For too long, R.J. has felt the heavy, suffocating weight of his family's iconic name, desperate to prove that he is more than just the privileged grandson of Eric Forrester and the entitled son of Ridge and Brooke. He wants to build something monumental from the ground up, something that will be celebrated and honored on its own immense merit, completely separate from the established Forrester triumphs of the past. R.J. refuses to be a mere footnote in the company's illustrious history. Driven by this burning desire for independence, recognition, and artistic validation, R.J. has thrown all his creative energy into conceptualizing a brand new, cutting-edge youth fashion line. He knows that Forrester Creations has been struggling to capture the younger demographic, especially in the wake of losing the hope for the future brand to the rival Logan Fashion House. R.J. takes his comprehensive, visionary pitch directly to his father, Ridge Forrester, laying out a meticulous, multi-million-dollar plan to revolutionize the company's approach to modern fashion. At the very center of this ambitious proposal is Electra Forrester, the woman R.J. envisions as the ultimate face, muse, and driving force of this groundbreaking new brand. The tension in the executive office is palpable as R.J. waits for his father's final verdict on the massive proposal. To his immense relief and ecstatic joy, Ridge is deeply impressed by the innovative sketches and the strategic, forward-thinking vision. Ridge officially greenlights the project, signaling a massive turning point for R.J.'s career and granting him the autonomy he has been craving. When R.J. delivers this amazing news to Electra, the atmosphere is electric with boundless possibility. R.J. is determined to transform Electra into a global fashion superstar, convinced that together they can accomplish extraordinary things and dominate the industry. This professional triumph also serves a dual, slightly more sinister purpose for R.J., allowing him to pull Electra closer into his orbit and firmly shut his romantic rival, Will Spencer, out of her life for good. However, this monumental career opportunity comes with an intense, almost crushing level of pressure that could easily break someone who isn't fully prepared. While it is thrilling to see R.J. stepping out of the shadows and taking a massive risk, One has to wonder if he is pushing the boundaries too far, too fast, and risking collateral damage. Elektra is relatively new to this level of intense corporate scrutiny and unforgiving public exposure. RJ is placing the entire weight of this new brand and potentially the financial future of the company squarely on her shoulders. Is he absolutely certain that Elektra possesses the emotional fortitude and professional stamina to handle the relentless demands, the harsh fashion critics, and the overwhelming spotlight that is about to be thrust upon her? The fashion world is notoriously vicious, and one misstep could shatter her confidence entirely. The stakes for this new youth line are astronomically high, not just for RJ and Elektra's personal careers, but for the entire Forrester Creations empire as a whole. The company is currently navigating a period of severe instability, internal conflict, and financial vulnerability. The recent catastrophic events in Monaco, combined with the loss of key personnel, prove that the Forrester brand is struggling to maintain its dominant, untouchable foothold in the international market. The rising, aggressive threat of Katie and Bill's Logan fashion house has left Forrester Creations bleeding and desperate for a massive, undeniable victory. The executives are looking for a miracle to restore their undisputed reign at the top of the fashion hierarchy, and RJ's line is their biggest gamble yet. This begs the ultimate million-dollar question that is whispering through the halls of the Forrester building. Will RJ's innovative new youth line be the glorious salvation that pulls Forrester Creations back from the brink, or will it be the disastrous, incredibly expensive miscalculation that finally causes the legendary empire to crumble? If the line succeeds, RJ will cement his status as a fashion visionary and secure the company's future for decades to come, proving his worth once and for all. But if the designs fail to resonate with the youth market, or if Elektra buckles under the immense pressure of being the brand superstar, the financial and reputational damage could be catastrophic. Ridge is taking a massive gamble on his son's unproven leadership, risking the family legacy on a bold, untested concept. As the sun sets over Los Angeles, the intricate web of deceit, ambition, and passion tightens its inescapable grip on every major player in this high-stakes game. From the explosive, emotional warfare between Katie, Will, and Dylan at the beach house, to Sheila's calculated, predatory patience as she plots to reclaim Deacon from a hesitant Taylor, the emotional stakes have never been higher. Add in RJ's desperate, high-stakes gamble to save his family's struggling company while simultaneously conquering Elektra's heart, and it is clear that the landscape of the bold and the beautiful is on the verge of a seismic, irreversible shift. Loyalties will be tested, hearts will be shattered, and the battle for power, both in the boardroom and in the bedroom, is only just beginning.